Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the daily habits of successful people.
Oh, yeah?
And we've talked about this before on the show, we're not just going to skim the surface.
Right.
We're going to go deep
Yeah.
and uncover why these habits actually work and how even small tweaks
Yes.
to your routine, can create like a ripple effect in your life.
Absolutely. And I think it's so fascinating how we're constantly told, to be successful, you got to do what these people do.
Right.
But no one really tells you how.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
Break down habits
Yeah.
like, early rising, exercise,
Yep.
reading,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. Not just what they are, but the science behind them.
Absolutely.
And then how you can actually tailor those habits to,
Yeah.
your own goals.
Yes.
Make them work for you.
Make them work for you. And I think one of the most important things to understand in all of this is the power of habits.
Okay.
They're essentially like the autopilot of our brains, right? Shaping our actions and freeing up all that mental energy for the things that actually matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, just thinking about
Right.
all the little decisions I have to make every day,
So many.
I feel drained.
You're already tired thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's called decision fatigue.
Okay.
And every single choice, no matter how small, it chips away at our focus.
Yeah.
But just imagine if some of those choices were automated through habits.
Right.
Suddenly, boom, you have so much more brain power.
Yeah.
You could tackle that challenging project or finally start that creative hobby you've been putting off.
Okay, so streamlining those
Yes.
everyday decisions
Yes.
through habits can free up that mental bandwidth
Yes.
for the bigger, more important stuff.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a specific habit we see a lot with successful people.
Okay.
Waking up early.
Yes.
Oh,
This is a good one.
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple,
Yeah.
wakes up at 4:30 in the morning.
I know, it's crazy, right? But it's not actually about the specific hour.
Yes.
It's about what you do with that time.
Okay, so how can our listener use that time to their advantage?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not all of us are CEOs.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
But it's about creating that space for yourself before all the demands of the day come crashing down.
Okay.
So imagine, having a quiet hour
Mm-hmm.
to meditate, to journal, to strategize for a big meeting.
Right.
Or even just get a head start on a project.
Right.
What could you achieve with that kind of focused time?
I mean, I can get a lot done.
I think so.
Yeah, I definitely see the appeal of that quiet time
Yes.
before, like you said, the demands of the day take over.
Yeah.
Another habit that we see a lot is exercise.
Yes.
And I'll admit, sometimes that feels like a chore
Oh, yeah.
to fit in.
Totally.
But,
Yeah.
Successful people tend to prioritize physical activity, right?
They do, whether it's running, yoga, or even just stretching.
Okay.
They do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Even just 20 minutes can boost your energy and sharpen your focus.
So it's not about becoming like a marathon runner or anything.
Yeah, no.
It's about getting the blood flowing.
Yes, getting the blood flowing, priming your mind
Mm-hmm.
for success.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Think about tackling a tough work task after a brisk walk.
Okay.
You'll feel more energized,
Right, yeah.
more alert,
Right.
ready to focus and get things done.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel more sluggish when I haven't, moved around much.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got waking up early,
Uh-huh.
exercise.
Yep.
What's next?
This one might be my favorite.
Okay.
Reading consistently.
Yeah.
We're talking about people like Warren Buffett, who spends a huge chunk of his day.
80%, right? 80%.
It is. And it really highlights the importance of being a lifelong learner.
Mm-hmm.
Successful people are always feeding their curiosity, expanding their knowledge through books, podcasts, articles, you name it.
So it's not just about acquiring information.
No.
It's about
Yeah.
staying curious and open-minded.
Yes. Especially in a world that's changing so rapidly.
Yeah, that's true.
Think about the last time you learned something truly new.
Okay.
How did it make you feel?
Mhm.
Did it spark new ideas? Did it give you a fresh perspective?
Yeah, I mean,
That's the power of consistent learning.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered waking up early, exercising, reading,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like those are all kind of different things, right?
They are.
But I'm sensing a theme here.
Oh, I like this.
What's the common thread?
Okay.
The underlying why behind all these habits?
I think they all contribute to something that successful people are really, really good at, and that is prioritization.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So it's about being intentional with your time and energy,
Yes.
focusing on what truly matters.
Exactly. They're masters at saying no to distractions and laser focusing on the tasks that will have the biggest impact.
Okay.
And there are techniques they use to help with this.
Right.
Take the Eisenhower matrix, for example.
Okay, break that down for me. What is that?
So the Eisenhower matrix is a really simple
Okay.
but effective tool for categorizing your tasks by urgency and importance.
Okay.
It helps you decide what to tackle first, what to delegate, what to just eliminate altogether.
Right.
Imagine looking at your to-do list through that lens.
Mm-hmm.
Are you focusing on what's truly important or just what's screaming the loudest?
Ah, so it's a way to cut through the noise and just get to the heart of what really needs to get done.
Exactly.
I like that.
Another technique is called eating the frog.
Okay, now I'm definitely intrigued.
It's a little more visceral.
Tell me more about this frog eating.
So this is a way of tackling your most challenging or dreaded task first thing in the morning.
Okay.
The idea is once you've eaten the frog, everything else feels easier by comparison.
Right, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might not be pleasant in the moment.
Yeah.
But then it frees you up for the rest of the day.
It does.
Okay, so we're starting to see how these habits,
Yes.
like when they're woven together, they create this routine.
Yeah.
That's like greater than some of its parts.
It is. It is. And it's important to remember this isn't about, becoming some kind of robot, super efficient machine.
Right.
It's about designing a routine that actually aligns with your values and supports your overall well-being.
So finding that sweet spot between structure and flexibility.
Yes.
A routine that feels like, empowering and sustainable.
Absolutely. And that might look different for everyone.
Right.
The key is to experiment, to find what works best for you and your unique goals.
That makes sense, because we're all different.
Right.
So our ideal routines will naturally be different.
Of course, of course.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but I'm sure our listeners okay, how do I actually do this?
How do you build these habits and make them stick?
Yeah, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out on their, habit-building journey?
I would say first and foremost, start small.
Okay.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Right.
Pick one habit that resonates with you.
Okay.
Focus on making that a consistent part of your routine.
Okay.
Once that feels solid, you can add another habit.
Right.
And so on.
So it's about building that momentum gradually.
Yes.
Rather than trying to climb Mount Everest in one leap.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And remember, this is a journey, not a race.
Right.
There will be days when you slip up.
Right.
When you hit snooze instead of meditating.
Yeah.
Or when you skip your workout.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Okay.
The important thing is to not let those slip-ups derail you completely.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge the slip-up, and get back on track.
Okay.
Remember, consistency over time is what leads to lasting change.
I love that. It's a much more, sustainable, realistic approach.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question then. What about how do we stay motivated?
That's a great question.
Especially when things get tough.
That is a really good question.
What advice do you have there?
So I think you need to find your why.
Okay.
Why do you want to develop these habits in the first place?
Right.
What are your goals? What are your aspirations?
Okay.
Having a clear purpose that will fuel your commitment.
Okay.
And help you stay motivated when things get tough.
Right. So it's like tapping into that deeper motivation.
Deeper motivation, yes.
Driving force behind the change you want to make.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Find a friend, a family member, or even an online community who can support you on your journey. Sharing your goals and your progress with others can make a huge difference.
Yeah. It's amazing how much easier it is to stick to something when you have
I know.
someone there to
yes.
cheer you on, hold you accountable.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you're feeling really ambitious, consider seeking guidance from a coach or a mentor who has experience in this area.
Okay.
They can provide valuable insights and personalized support to help you navigate the process.
So it's like having a guide.
Yes.
On your journey. Right. Someone to help you stay on track.
Yeah.
Avoid the pitfalls and all that.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, before we move on, I want to address a common misconception about habits.
Okay, what is it?
A lot of people think that habits are restrictive.
Right.
that they stifle creativity and spontaneity.
Yeah, people worry that, like,
Mm-hmm.
having a routine is going to make them feel
Yeah.
trapped or boxed in or something.
Yeah, they think it'll stifle their creativity.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's the opposite.
Okay.
When you automate those positive actions through habits, you free up so much mental energy for creativity and innovation.
It's like clearing the clutter
Exactly.
from your mind.
Yes.
So you can focus on those higher level tasks.
That's it. Think of it this way. Habits are the foundation that allows you to build a more fulfilling and successful life.
So they're not about limiting yourself.
No.
They're about empowering yourself
Yes.
to achieve your goals.
Yes. Now, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a powerful thought.
Okay, hit me.
Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Ooh, I like that.
Small,
Yeah.
consistent actions,
Okay.
when repeated over time, can lead to remarkable results.
Like those tiny deposits
Yes.
that grow into
Yeah.
a big sum of money.
Exactly. The same principle applies to habits.
Yeah.
Each positive action,
Yeah.
each step you take towards your goals,
Yeah.
it compounds over time,
Right.
creating a ripple effect
Right.
that transforms your life.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really captures
I think so too.
the power of consistency and the long-term impact of,
Yes.
our choices.
Our choices, our habits.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our final thoughts,
Okay.
I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own habits.
Okay, let's take a moment for some introspection.
Yes. What habits are currently serving you well? Which ones might be holding you back?
Okay.
And what one small change could you make today to start building a more fulfilling and successful tomorrow?
That is a powerful question to ponder.
Isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about these individual habits.
Yeah.
Like waking up early, exercising, reading, all that. But that's saying that they're not just like isolated actions.
Right.
They're all part of a larger system.
That's it. Successful people tend to be very intentional about crafting a daily routine that sets them up for success.
Okay.
They understand that these habits, when combined strategically, they create this powerful synergy.
That makes sense.
Right? It's not just about doing the things. It's about doing them in a way that actually maximizes their impact.
Right.
That's where the real magic happens.
Okay.
Let's go back to waking up early for a second.
Okay.
It's not just about getting a head start on the day.
Yeah.
It's about creating space for those activities that nourish your mind and body.
So instead of like hitting the snooze button,
Yeah.
you're using that time to like
Yes.
invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself, whether it's meditation, exercise, journaling.
Right.
You're setting the tone for a more productive and fulfilling day.
And when you combine that with like
Yes.
regular exercise,
Yes.
you're essentially priming your brain for peak performance.
That's right.
It's like giving your mind that boost of energy and focus before you even like start tackling your to-do list.
Absolutely. So it's not just about physical fitness.
Right.
It's about creating this state of mental clarity and readiness.
And then you add consistent reading to the mix.
Oh, yes.
You're constantly feeding your mind with
Yes.
new ideas, new perspectives.
New perspectives, keep yourself adaptable, innovative, ahead of the curves.
It's like a mental workout, right?
It is. It is.
Keeping your brain sharp and flexible.
Exactly. And when you layer in the power of prioritization,
Okay.
using tools like the Eisenhower Matrix or eating the frog,
Right.
you're essentially optimizing your entire day
Right.
for maximum efficiency and impact.
Okay, so we're really seeing how these habits, when they're like
Yeah.
woven together, they create this routine
That's yes.
greater than the sum of its parts.
Yes. And it's important to remember that this isn't about, becoming some kind of robotic, super efficient machine.
Right, right.
It's about designing a routine that aligns with your values and supports your overall well-being.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Yes,
between structure and flexibility, right?
exactly.
Creating a routine that feels both empowering and sustainable.
Absolutely. And that might look different for everyone.
Okay.
The key is to experiment. Find what works best for you and your unique goals.
Right, because we're all different, so our ideal routines will naturally be different.
Of course, of course.
Okay, so I know this all sounds great in theory,
Right.
but I'm sure our listeners wondering, like, okay, how do I actually go about building these habits and making them stick?
That's the question, isn't it? It can feel overwhelming to overhaul your entire life overnight.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone just starting out on their habit-building journey?
Well, I would say first and foremost, start small.
Start small, yes.
Don't try to do everything at once.
No.
Pick one habit that really resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on making that a consistent part of your routine.
Exactly.
And once that feels solid, Then you can add another one, and so on and so on.
And so on, exactly. It's about building that momentum gradually, rather than trying to climb Mount Everest in a single leap.
Right.
And remember, it's a journey, not a race. There will be days when you slip up, when you hit the snooze button instead of meditating, or when you skip your workout.
It happens?
It happens, and that's okay.
Okay.
The important thing is to not let those slip-ups completely derail you.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. Absolutely. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge the slip-up, and just get back on track.
Okay.
Remember, consistency over time is what leads to lasting change.
I love that.
It's a much more sustainable and realistic approach.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question then is like, how do we stay motivated?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Especially when things get tough.
When things get tough, yeah.
What advice do you have there?
I think you need to find your why.
Okay.
Why do you want to develop these habits in the first place? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Having a clear purpose, that's what will fuel your commitment and help you stay motivated when things get tough.
So it's like tapping into that deeper motivation.
Deeper motivation, yes.
The driving force behind the change you want to make.
That's it.
Okay.
And don't underestimate the power of accountability.
Right.
Find a friend, a family member, or even an online community who can support you on your journey.
Yeah.
Sharing your goals and your progress with others can make a huge difference.
It's amazing how much easier it is to stick to something when you have someone there to like
I know.
cheer you on and hold you accountable.
It makes a big difference.
It does. It does.
Now, if you're feeling really ambitious,
okay.
consider seeking guidance from a coach or a mentor who have experience in this area.
Okay.
They can provide valuable insights and personalized support to help you navigate the process.
So it's like having a guide on your journey.
Yes.
Someone to help you stay on track and avoid the pitfalls and all that.
Exactly, exactly. Now, before we move on, I want to address a common misconception about habits.
Okay, what is that?
A lot of people believe that habits are restrictive, that they stifle creativity and spontaneity.
Right, I've heard that like
Yeah.
having a routine is going to make people feel trapped or boxed in or something.
Yeah. They're worried it's going to stifle their creativity.
Right.
But in reality, the opposite is true.
Okay.
When you automate those positive actions through habits, you actually free up so much mental energy for creativity and innovation.
It's like clearing the clutter from your mind.
Yes.
So you could focus on those higher level tasks.
That's it. Think of it this way. Habits are the foundation that allows you to build a more fulfilling and successful life.
So they're not about limiting yourself.
No.
They're about empowering yourself.
Yes.
To achieve your goals.
Yes. Now, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with a powerful thought.
Okay, I'm ready.
Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Ooh, I like that.
Small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to remarkable results.
It's like those tiny, seemingly insignificant deposits that grow into a substantial sum over time.
Exactly. The same principle applies to habits. Each positive action, each step you take toward your goals, it compounds over time, creating a ripple effect that transforms your life.
I love that analogy. It really captures the power of consistency and the long-term impact of our choices.
Our choices, our habits.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our final thoughts, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own habits.
Okay.
What habits are currently serving you well? Which ones might be holding you back? And what one small change could you make today to start building a more fulfilling and successful tomorrow?
That is a powerful question to ponder. It really is incredible how those small actions can make such a big difference over time.
Right. It's like we were saying, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Yeah. And just like with investing, the earlier you start,
yes,
the better, right?
The greater the potential returns. Absolutely.
I guess it's never too late to start, huh?
It's never too late to start investing in yourself.
That's true. That's true.
Whether you're, just beginning your journey or you're a seasoned pro, there's always room for growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
okay,
I want to challenge you, our listener.
Okay, I like a challenge. What do you got?
I want you to pick one habit from our conversation today.
Okay.
Just one.
Just one to start?
Keep it manageable.
Make it manageable. Commit to incorporating it into your routine for the next week.
Okay.
See what happens.
So instead of trying to change everything at once,
yeah,
we're just focusing on one small change.
One small change, one step at a time.
Yeah, I like that. And as you experiment with this new habit, pay attention to how it impacts your life.
Okay.
Notice those subtle shifts.
Okay.
The increased energy,
Mm-hmm.
the moments of clarity, the sense of accomplishment.
It's about being mindful of the process, right?
Be mindful. Observe the ripple effect as it unfolds.
Okay.
And remember, you don't have to do this alone.
Right.
Share your experience with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Join an online community. Seek guidance from a mentor.
Yeah, there's a lot of support out there.
There is. We're all in this together, striving for growth and positive change.
That's right.
So, what will it be? Early rising, exercise, reading, prioritization. The choice is yours.
That's a big question.
Choose wisely, commit fully, and get ready to unlock your true potential, one habit at a time.
That's a wrap on today's Deep Dive.
Great conversation.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration and self-discovery.
Absolutely.
And remember, even small changes can lead to extraordinary results.
I believe that.